Yo, what is up guys? In this video, I'll be covering some mistakes that killed my Roblox game and how I fixed them. And just an example, this one game went from absolutely zero, it was very low conversions, it was just stuck in general, and I took that game from absolute zero to hundreds of thousands of Robux each and every single day consistently. So now on to the first point is, I underestimated thumbnails. I really did. I thought that thumbnails was not that big of a deal. Yes, I did put some sort of research into it, but not enough. And yeah, now we're going to go through two different thumbnails. First of all, the one on the left is really boring. It has low contrast, no emotion, and no clear subject. While on the other hand, this one has clear action, really good emotion, and focus, and visual storytelling. And of course, the most important factor of a good thumbnail is that anyone should be able to understand what your game is about within 2 seconds of seeing the thumbnail. That's why I say that this thumbnail right here is so shit that my eyes would not even land on it. Now on to the next mistake. I didn't understand what a funnel is. If you guys are in the e-com space, then you guys definitely understand what a funnel is. It's basically a sort of path that leads your customer down to a conversion. So first of all, we have awareness. The customer is aware, and then it starts considering, and then that consideration leads into a conversion. But now on the other hand, I want to show you guys Roblox's funnel. Now I think it's pretty clear to why I started talking about the thumbnail in the first part of the video, because that is at the start tip point of your funnel. If you have a bad thumbnail, then they're not going to go down this deep funnel, and yeah, they're just going to skip by your game. Now let's take a look at this funnel and every single path that goes down it. So to start off, they see your game in the catalog, and then they click. They decide that your game is worth checking out. And then the player gets its first impressions of your game. They join your game and form an opinion really quick. And if your game is good enough, they're going to keep on playing and come back for more. And if they keep on playing your game, then they're going to want to spend Robux and support your game, which then leads Roblox to push your game to more players. Guys, please get a notebook and write this stuff down, because every single mistake that I'm going to talk about in this video is going to connect to the funnel. So now moving on is bad onboarding. I had really bad first impressions of my game. And I have to say, most developers know their game, but the players do not. So I had to ask myself these 3 questions. Do they know what to do in the first 10 seconds of entering your game? Do they know the objective? Is there immediate action? Because if not, then there's no clear goal or any reason for them to keep on playing your game. They might as well just leave. What I essentially did was I made players wait for fun. So here you guys can see the 2 different paths of onboarding on Roblox. The bad one is you spawn, there's 10 UI windows and a tutorial wall, and the player leaves. Meanwhile, the successful games have immediate fun. The reason why this took me so long to realize is I did not study any winners. What I used to do was I used to get an idea and I used to build and then just hope that the game would pop off. But what I do now is I study the winners, I find patterns, and then I build. I literally used to make games for my own amusement. I did go through this point in the last video, so you guys can check that out. Now this is a pretty sensitive topic to me actually, because what I did whenever a game wasn't performing is I used to find a new idea, a new project, and a new game and completely start over. Until I realized that a lot of the work is already done. The systems are already ready. The progression system, the quests, the story systems, the UI, the saves, they still work. Like for example, I had a story game, and instead of abandoning it, I repurposed it around a different trend that didn't require months of work or rebuilding everything. It was mostly just changing the theme, changing the content, and adapting it to what players currently cared about. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that every single thing that I've talked about, every single mistake, all lead back to the funnel. I had a really bad thumbnail, I had bad first impression, I was just struggling on leading players down the funnel. But once I realized what a funnel is, everything just clicked in my head. And guys, if you want to, you can follow my Twitter at trim.birk or link in the description, and you can ask me any sort of question, or just feel free to comment down below and I'll make sure to answer all of your comments and questions. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.